Hey everyone, Cap from TCG Break here, bringing you my Endymion Pendulum deck profile for the March 2021 format. This deck is certainly capable of shaping up to be a great rogue contender in our current meta, and is one of the decks that I picked up when I first started playing the game. It is very fun to play, and if you haven't played it before, I highly recommend giving it a shot, as it's also relatively budget friendly. With that being said, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with the main Pendulum monsters, I'm playing 3 Endymion, the Mighty Master of Magic. This has the Pendulum effect, where you can remove 6 spell counters from your field and special summon it from your Pendulum zone, then count the number of cards you control that have spell counters, and destroy up to that many cards on the field, and then place spell counters onto Endymion equal to the number of cards you destroyed. It also has the monster effect, where once per turn, when a spell or trap or effect is activated, you can quick effect return 1 card you control with a spell counter to the hand, and negate the activation and destroy that card. Then you are able to place the same number of spell counters onto Endymion that the card returned to your hand had. Also, while Endymion has a spell counter, your opponent cannot target it with card effects, and it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If Endymion is destroyed by battle while it has a spell counter, you can add a normal spell from your deck to the hand. Continuing with the Pendulum monsters, I'm playing 2 Reflection of Endymion. This has the Pendulum Scale effect, where each time a spell card is activated, you can place 1 spell counter on it. You are able to remove 3 spell counters from Reflection, and special summon it and 1 monster from your hand that you can place a spell counter on, and then place a spell counter on each of those monsters. You can only special summon Reflection of Endymion once per turn. It has the effect where if it's special summoned, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and 1 card you control with a spell counter and return both to the hand. Then you are able to place the same number of spell counters onto Reflection that the card returned to your hand had. Also, when Reflection would be destroyed by battle while it has a spell counter, you are able to add 1 Endymion card from your deck to the hand. Also playing 2 Magister of Endymion. This has the Scale effect, where each time a spell card is activated, you can place 1 spell counter onto it. Then you're able to remove 3 spell counters from it, and special summon it and 1 face-up monster from your extra deck that you can place a spell counter on. And then you place 1 spell counter on each. You can only special summon Magister once per turn. And it has the monster effect, where if it declares an attack, you can place 1 spell counter on it, and then once during your opponent's turn, you can quick effect remove 3 spell counters from your field, and special summon 1 monster from your deck that you can place a spell counter on. And then if it's destroyed in your monster zone, you can also place it into your Pendulum zone, and place the same number of spell counters on it that it had as a monster. And to round it out for the Endymion monsters, I'm playing the 1 Servant of Endymion. This is probably one of your best Pendulum monsters in the deck. It has the Scale effect, where each time a spell card is activated, you place 1 spell counter onto it, and then you can remove 3 spell counters to special summon it and 1 monster from your deck with 1,000 or more attack that you can place a spell counter on, and then you place 1 spell counter on each. You can also only special summon Servant once per turn. If Servant has a spell counter, it can attack directly, and then once per turn during your opponent's turn, you can quick effect discard 1 card and place 1 spell counter on each card you control that you can place a spell counter on. And similar to Magister, if it would be destroyed in your monster zone, you can place it into your Pendulum zone and then place the same number of spell counters on it that it had as a monster. For the Pendulum support, I'm playing 3 Magical Abductor. This has the Scale effect, where each time a spell card is activated, you place 1 spell counter onto it when that spell card resolves, and then once per turn, you can remove 3 spell counters from Magical Abductor and add a Pendulum monster from your deck to the hand. It has a monster effect, where each time a spell card is activated, you can place 1 spell counter onto it when that spell card resolves. It also gains 100 attack for each spell counter, and then once per turn you can remove 3 spell counters and add a level 1 spellcaster from your deck to your hand. Onto the Mythical Beast engine, I'm playing 3 Mythical Beast Master Cerberus. This has the Scale effect, where if you have no card in your other Pendulum zone, you can destroy Master Cerberus, and if you do, add a level 7 or lower Mythical Beast monster from your deck to the hand. It has the monster effect, where each time a spell card is activated, you can place 2 spell counters onto it when that spell resolves. Master Cerberus cannot be destroyed by card effects, while 4 or more spell counters are on the field. It also has the once per turn effect, where you can remove 4 spell counters from your field and target 1 monster your opponent controls and banish it face up. And then Master Cerberus gains attack equal to the banished monster's original attack until the end of your opponent's turn. I'm also playing 2 Mythical Beast Jackal King. This has the scale effect where if you have no card in your other Pendulum zone, you can destroy it and then special summon one face-up Mythical Beast Pendulum monster from your extra deck. It also has the monster effect, where each time a spell card is activated, you place 2 spell counters onto Jackal King when that spell resolves. Also, once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can quick effect remove 2 spell counters from your field, negate the activation, and destroy that card. And to round it out for the Mythical Beast monsters, I'm playing the one Mythical Beast, Garuda. This has the scale effect where if you have no card in your other Pendulum zone, you can target one other spell or trap on the field and destroy it and Garuda. It also has the monster effect, where each time a spell card is activated, you place 1 spell counter onto it when that spell resolves. Also, when your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you can remove 3 spell counters from your field and special summon Garuda from your hand, and then return your opponent's summoned monster to the hand. And to round it out for the Pendulum monsters, I'm playing the one Archfiend Eccentric. This has the scale effect where you can target one other spell or trap on the field and destroy both it and Eccentric. And then it has the monster effect where you can tribute it and then target a monster on the field and destroy it. For their spellcaster support, I'm playing the one copy of Magician's Souls. This has the effect where you can send up to 2 spells or traps from your hand and or field to the graveyard and then draw that many cards. If Magician's Souls is in your hand, you can send a level 6 or higher spellcaster from your deck to the grave, and in this case, you'll just special summon it from your hand. Great extender for the deck, I'm playing the one Jester Confit. You are able to freely special summon Jester Confit from your hand, and if it's summoned this way, during your opponent's next end phase, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and return both it and Jester Confit to the hand. Most of the time you won't use that effect, you're just using Jester Confit as an additional extender. And to round it out for the monster lineup, I'm playing 2 Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. This has the effect where if it's normal summoned or flip face up, to add 1 Spellbook spell from your deck to the hand. To go with the Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, I'm playing 2 Spellbook of Secrets. This has the effect to add a Spellbook card from your deck to the hand, except Secrets, as well as 1 Spellbook of Knowledge. This has the effect where you can send either 1 spellcaster monster you control, or 1 other spellbook card from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, and then draw 2 cards. I'm also playing 3 Spell Power Mastery. This has the effect where you can add an Endymion card from your deck to the hand, and then count the number of Spell Power Mastery you have in your graveyard, and place that many spell counters among cards you control that you can place a spell counter on. For the Mythical Beasts, I'm playing 3 Mythical Institution. This has the effect where each time a face-up Mythical Beast Pendulum monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can place 2 spell counters onto Institution. And then once per turn, you can remove any number of spell counters from your field, and then add 1 monster from your deck or face-up extra deck that you can place a spell counter on with a level equal to the number of spell counters removed to your hand. And if Institution would be destroyed by a card effect, you can remove 1 spell counter from it instead. I'm also playing 2 Magical Citadel of Endymion. This has the effect where each time a spell card is activated, you can place 1 spell counter onto it when that spell resolves, and if a card with spell counters is destroyed, you can place its spell counters onto Citadel. It also has the useful effect, once per turn, where if you would activate a card effect by removing spell counters from your field, you can remove that many spell counters from Citadel instead. And similar to Mythical Institution, if Citadel would be destroyed, you can remove 1 spell counter from it instead. Additional spell cards, I'm playing 3 Pot of Desires. I'm also playing 1 Into the Void. This has the effect where if you have 3 or more cards in your hand, you can draw a card. And then if you do during the end phase, you discard your entire hand. Most of the time, you're not too worried about the prospective downside of this card, as you will use a majority of your resources in order to set up a board of multiple negates in hopes that your opponent cannot play on the following turn. I'm also playing the 1 Instant Fusion. This helps to fusion summon your Millenniumized Restrict in order to protect your plays from hand traps. I'm also playing the 1 Terraforming, just to search your Citadel, and the 1 Upstart Goblin, just to dig a little bit deeper into your deck to further extend your plays. Now onto the extra deck. I'm playing the 1 Cross Sheep. We'll use this for the Odd Eyes Absolute and Vortex combo, where we use its effect where if a fusion monster is special summoned to its arrow, you can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. I'm also playing the 1 Crowley, the first Prophecyr. This allows you, when it's link summoned, to reveal 3 spellbook cards with different names from your deck, and your opponent randomly picks one for you to add to your hand. I'm also playing the 1 Daybreaker, the Shining Magical Warrior. This has the effect where if it's link summoned, you can place 1 spell counter on it, and it gains 300 attack for each spell counter on it. It also has the following effects, where if a spellcaster monster is special summoned to a zone it points to, you can place 1 spell counter onto Daybreaker. You can also remove 2 spell counters from it, and target 1 card on the field and destroy it. Also playing the 1 IP Masquerena. This is useful as you can quick effect during your opponent's main phase, link summon 1 link monster using IP and any other monsters you may control. I'm also playing the Nightmare package in the form of Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix, and Nightmare Unicorn. I also play 3 Selene, Queen of the Master Magicians. This has the effect where if it's link summoned, you can place spell counters on it equal to the number of spells on the field and in either player's graveyard. Also, while you have an Endymion card on the field, your opponent cannot target Selene for attacks, and then once per turn during the main phase, you can quick effect remove 3 spell counters from your field and special summon 1 spellcaster from your hand or graveyard in defense position to a zone Selene points to. And a lot of the times you'll use that special summon monster in Selene to go into your access code talker. This is great for the OTK potential, as well as its destruction effect that your opponent is unable to respond to. And to round it out for the link monsters, I'm playing the 1 Apollousa, Bow of the Goddess. You are able to link summon into this fairly easily to put up at least 2 or 3, and maybe even 4 monster negates. As Apollousa has the effect when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can quick effect decrease its attack by 800 and negate the activation. For the instant fusion target, I'm playing the 1 Millennium Eyes Restrict. This is useful to prevent your combos from being hand trapped. And to round it out for the extra deck, I'm playing the 1 Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon and the 1 Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. Most of the time you're able to overlay for the Absolute Dragon using your Endymion and possibly Reflection, and then link away it and 1 other monster into the Cross Sheep, which will activate Absolute's effect to special summon Vortex to one of Cross Sheep's arrows, in which case you can activate Cross Sheep's effect to special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. Onto the side deck, I'm playing 3 Droll and Lockbird. Dragon Link is fairly prevalent after the March 2021 ban list, and Droll and Lockbird is an excellent hand trap to use in this deck, as it is searchable off of Magical Abductor's monster effect. It has the effect where if a card is added from the main deck to your opponent's hand, you can quick effect send it to your graveyard, and for the rest of the turn, cards cannot be added from either player's main deck to the hand. I'm also playing 2 DD Crow. This is useful against the Drytron matchup, as well as Shadal and Invoked matchups. You can quick effect discard DD Crow to the graveyard, and then target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. I'm also playing 3 Ally of Justice Cycle Reader. This is great against the Drytron matchup, as it has the effect during either player's turn, where you can discard it to the graveyard, and then target up to 2 light monsters in your opponent's graveyard and banish them. Dinosaurs once again went untouched on the March 2021 ban list, so I'm playing 3 Artifact Lancia. This has the quick effect during your opponent's turn, where you can tribute it from your hand or face-up field, and neither player can banish cards for the rest of the turn. And for the back row removal, I'm playing 3 Cosmic Cyclone and the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. So this has been my Endymion Pendulum deck profile for the March 2021 format. As always, if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more like it, feel free to give us a like and subscribe. Feel free to leave any suggestions regarding changes you would make to the deck in the comments below. And as always, until the next one, have a nice day.